This is the Criterion Creeps podcast. And tonight we're talking about The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou from 2004, directed by Wes Anderson. And we're joined by Patreon co-host Jared Berger, Real Guy. The tagline for this film, RJ and Jared.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
The deeper you go, the weirder life gets.
Is that really it?
Yeah.
I don't think that's super fitting, but okay.
No, I feel like this is like a horror movie. You know?
Yeah. Like some kind of cosmic horror, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't get it, but oh well.
So,
Yeah.
renowned oceanographer Steven Zissou has sworn vengeance upon the rare shark that devoured a member of his crew. In addition to his regular team, he is joined on his boat by Ned, a man who believes Zissou to be his father, and Jane, a journalist pregnant by a married man. They travel the sea, all too often running into pirates and, perhaps more traumatically, various figures from Zissou's past, including his estranged wife, Eleanor. Yeah, so this is Wes Anderson movie number 3 in the Criterion Creep. We did that Rushmore.
Oh, yeah.
We did Royal Tenenbaums, and now we're doing Life Aquatic. So this was one of those, again, rare occasions where the Criterion Collection would put out a contemporary movie into its illustrious collection. Like, as it's like, and this was like, there was no previous DVD. This is it. This is the only way you can get it, much like Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
They were like, for the North American release anyway, it was Criterion or nothing. So that was cool. And luckily, they priced these quite affordably when they put them out. And it's got some of that sweet, is it Eric Anderson who does the artwork?
Yeah. Wes's brother, right?
Yeah. His, those, all that great pencil crayon illustration. And I love it. Love those arts. So,
yeah, he does good stuff.
He does great stuff. So this is a movie that I got to see in theater. I think it was like Christmas Eve, about when it got released at the now defunct Creepsville Center Theater. And
we lost another one.
The only reason I recall this specifically is because watching the movie is going along swell, and then at the climax of the movie with the like reveal of the jaguar shark, guys, spoilers, the film reel just broke and fucked up, and it just ended.
Nice.
like the whole like payoff of the movie, it just went. So we got vouchers, and we had to go back like a day or two later, because I think the next day was Christmas Day, and I think that theater was closed, so I had to go back on like Boxing Day to like watch the whole movie again, and then like get the ending.
Damn, you hate to see it. And so you went back. You did go back though. You didn't just say fuck it and then not go back. Because I could see some people being like, "Nah, I saw most of it. I figured it out. I got it." You did go back with your voucher?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did go. I got my free tick and
Nice.
Went back right in there
Where?
into that movie theater because you know this movie's not hard to watch. It's a movie. It's a pleasure to go back to watch to see again. So anyway, so I've seen this movie several times in my life, being a Wes Anderson fan. I will say that the first time I watched this, I was disappointed with it. It did not live up to the high standard I feel the connection I had built up with Royal Tenenbaums, and watching Life Aquatic, which is like, it's so similar but so different in so many ways. And like, I'm not a big seas man. I'm not a big fan of the sea and the ocean and pirates. And I'm not a big Jacques Cousteau fan. I'm not a big fan of his work because I have no real opinion.
Canadian icon Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah.
Canadian, right?
He is French. He's a French man.
I'm pretty sure he's Canadian. So
Like,
let's just agree to disagree.
Okay. Is this
He's right up there with Rutger Hauer in terms of Canadian icons.
Okay,
so.
there you go. He's like cousins with Rutger Hauer. Makes sense. Cousteau, Hauer, totally.
Yeah,
Totes.
potentially.
Anyway, so this movie grows, much like most Wes Anderson movies. They usually you start getting into the cadence of his screenplays, of the character worlds. There's like these weird lines and moments that just linger on in the memory years after you've watched them, which I got to re-experience again watching it again for this week, where I'm like, oh man, this is stuff I think about like to this day. This is right up there with Kevin Costner being blown away in that tornado in Man of Steel.
Oh shit!
No, that movie's terrible, but that scene is so stupid. I can never forget it. This movie's got really great moments because they're good. So,
both good.
But yeah, I mean that's just kind of framing my frame of reference for Life Aquatic. What about you two, Jared Berger? What's your experience with Life Aquatic previous to this?
I'll tell you. So this was the second Criterion movie I bought. And it's the first one since knowing what Criterion was, because I bought the In the Mood for Love I bought, and I think it was like one of the only options was Criterion, so I just happened to buy that one because it had like special features and stuff, you know. And then that's what sort of indoctrinated me, and so then I was like, all right, well, I'll check. I went to like Barnes and Noble or whatever, and I was like, yeah, so I'll have one Life Aquatic, and so
one Life Aquatic, please.
And that was sort of like one Life Aquatic, please, and that was the it was a blind buy, and I liked it quite a bit, and every time I watch it, I like it more and more. You know, it really does grow on you, like how Jarrett says. You know, I guess we'll get more into it, but I feel like it's like the worlds of the film is both like broad and deep. You know, it's like very filled out, and it does feel like there's like the movie could like easily just follow another character and there'd be an equal amount of stuff going on, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you have a Sisu hat over there? Your little red cap?
Oh shit. I do have a red
You
cap.
do?
Maybe I should.
It's almost like sometimes.
Maybe I should pause for a moment and go get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll fill time. You run over there. We're professionals.
It's definitely in my room. It's definitely in my room, so I'll still be.
Yeah,
able to
go
hear
ahead,
you
go
guys
get it.
and talk.
Okay, RJ.
Yeah, I'll tell you. My story's not as interesting, but I do have someone has connected Zizou to me a few times. So I didn't see it in theaters, but I did. This was a rental for me, Jared. I rented it. A rental in like back end of 2004.
It would have been 2005 when it did come out on DVD. Yeah.
So that was when I rented it. It was
15-year-old spry young RJ.
Yeah, renting Life Aquatic.
Full of piss and vinegar.
Big piss boy over here. Renting a Life Aquatic. So I rented it, and I really liked it, and like I had seen Tenenbaums before, and like when I was like a young teenager with Wes Anderson, I liked his movies, but I didn't totally like get as much out of it as I do as an older guy, if you know what I mean. Like I didn't appreciate him as much. I knew they were cool, but I didn't get the appreciation out of them. So I rented this bad boy, and then I have had a few people mention Life Aquatic to me for two reasons. One, I'm a big David Bowie guy, and so sometimes people are like, some people in the know are like, "Oh, do you know Life Aquatic?" And it's like, "Yes, I do." And they're like, "You know that David Bowie?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." Jared Berger is back with his red cap, and he's looking better than ever. I think that's exactly what we needed here. Sometimes people mention the Bowie stuff to me, and they bring that up. And then one other thing and I'm playing my cards a little soon here, but I think people know I'm actually a big Life Aquatic fan. The song at the big finish with the jaguar shark from the band Sigur Rós. I love Sigur Rós, and I have a Sigur Rós tattoo. And so sometimes people are like, they're like, you have that band from Life Aquatic tattooed? And like, I don't have a picture of the band. I just have like some song stuff. And I was like, yeah, I do. And they're like, is it that song? It's like, no, it's not. But like but it's like, it's an Icelandic band. So it's like people don't really know. Well, the people I've talked to, at least, they're like, there's no separation there. It's like, oh, it's the same thing. And it's like, yeah, I guess it's the same band. So if people do bring it up to me quite a bit, where they're like, oh, you have you have a tattoo of this band? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why? I say, I don't know. I like the music, man. There's nothing else to it. But anyways, I'm loving Jared Berger's hat. He's a real guy. He's wearing a red hat, or a toque, as we call them in Canada. Canada.
Toque.
Yeah. I also liked. I like in the show that they all have different, like slightly different variants of red toques. Mm-hmm. Like they all have like one feature that's a little different. I like that quite a bit. It's good. Yeah. Sorry, Jared. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just. Yeah. I do like how it's all separate. I was gonna. Yeah, I did like the whole. I did this for Halloween, actually. I think last year, it might be 2 years ago, but yeah, and in the States, I don't know. It's called a beanie, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's like
that's
not like regional. Okay, yeah, not up there. Okay, yeah. So I've never heard toque. Is that what it was? Yeah,
toque. Yeah,
toque.
T-O-Q-U-E.
Q-U. Oh my. Okay, well, maybe I'll add that into the dictionary. You know, I won't remember how it's spelled.
You say toque. You can impress people with it and be like, "Hey, do you like my toque?" And they go, "What are you, Canadian there, bud?"
And you say, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, bud. Yeah, that's a quality
giver."
Mm-hmm.
So, we've established Life Aquatic is a gooder, and it has a special place in all our hearts, with our cap wearing and our Speedo wearing. It's all good.
Hell yeah.
So this movie, like for the first 15 minutes, it's just like nonstop propulsion of like it's so impressive. It's economic storytelling. Because it hits all these beats of like, okay, we're in a theater. We're at a premiere. It's in La Costa. There's a man subtitled introducing the show. It's like an international film festival. The thing that sticks out of my mind is the man who comes out to take the microphone down in a way. That's just like, I love how this feels like a reference to a movie that Wes Anderson would have loved. Right. And he would have been like, I got to leave that in. Because he's working through his film references, I think, in his differing ways, and then we get the weird, clunkily made Steve Zissou film production, which is definitely not as polished as a real Jacques Cousteau film, which I did watch for this week. I did watch it. I did because they're on. Some of these are on YouTube, so I watched, and they have posters just like the ones that Bill Murray's signing for that old man with the crusty voice. Yeah, there's the one called
Crustin.
So there's this one called The Silent World, and I half watched this thing. People could look up the poster for this. Yeah, Le Monde de Silence, The Silent World, Spacemen of the Sea, the greatest true adventure of our time.
That sounds so cool.
Out of an uncharted universe comes an experience of unearthly beauty. One review, the top review of this documentary, Cousteau's research methods, such as blowing up a coral reef with dynamite, accidentally driving over a baby whale only to shoot it in the head a minute later, and killing sharks with a sledgehammer just because you hate them, may come off as barbaric, which they are, but times were different back then.
Were they?
Hey,
4 stars.
1956 was a long time ago. Yeah, one of the so I was watching this because I was like really curious. I'm like, what's this presentation of? And it's like, yeah, there's some C4. Let's go blow up that coral reef because to study the fish is the only way. It's in the name of science. So it's all these dead fish start floating up to the surface, and they start pulling up dead fish and throwing them to the deck of the boat. And you're just like, this man loves the sea.
he loves science.
So
he believes only in science.
So that like kind of frames like this this very romantic view, but like also shit take on Cousteau and he's like his band of merry men, his frogmen. Like Klaus, probably one of the greatest characters in all of cinema. Can I get agreement here?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
I
yes,
love Klaus so much. We'll talk about him a little bit more, but yeah,
okay.
Willem Dafoe is so good in this movie.
Oh, he's so goddamn good. But so we get a little bit of Seymour Cassel. Just a little bit, though.
Just a little bit.
As Esteban.
Yeah, and bald, shaved Seymour Cassel, which is a striking look, to be frank.
Well, he's almost unrecognizable. And then you realize, that's him. That's the man.
That's Seymour Cassel.
That man with the annoying laugh from that Cassavetes movie.
Yeah. Well, but in that one though, he was a mover and a shaker, Jared. He was getting down with the ladies.
That like moment of Bill Murray like just leaning over and kissing his head. It's like, is that improvised? It might have been.
I believe so. So. Did you, Jared? Did you also watch the supplement? I know Jared Berger did. This Is an Adventure.
I did not.
Oh, okay. You get some. It's basically just Bill Murray. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I did not actually watch the special feature this week. I've watched it like years ago,
gotcha.
But I did start the commentary track for the movie, so we'll get into that a little bit later.
Sure.
Yeah. I just the only reason I brought it up was and I think it's like 40 minutes long or something, but it's just Bill Murray and Wes Anderson kind of hanging out and like doing all the pre-production stuff, like trying on costumes and shit like that. And you get a lot of Bill Murray doing that kind of stuff where he's just, generally being goofy and doing wild shit. So that's all. I guess I was the only one, but there's not much more to talk about it other than that. It's just kind of a behind the scenes. It shows them filming some scenes and stuff like that. That's all. Yeah. Yeah.
And from what I remember, it was a fun watch, Yeah.
It's not long, and you do get to see like some of the filming and some of like the direction that Wes Anderson gives, but it's him and Bill kind of going off. But a lot of the time, Bill Murray, like, they'll film a scene and then Bill Murray will give his own input, and you're just like, nah, that wasn't good. And Wes Anderson's like, no, that was great. And he's like, nah. He's like, we'll do a better one later. Don't worry about it. And everyone else is there, and then there's Cate Blanchett just kind of like keeping to herself. She's like, are we still doing this? Like, is this still happening? So, but yeah, that short, it's just about Bill Murray pretty much. So it's not bad. Yep. That's all.
So Esteban is eaten, not whole. Just don't, not like which Klaus is asking about. What? Because he can't understand what he's saying.
He was eaten. He was bitten in half.
And then we have crazy eyes. He has crazy eye.
Hydrogen psychosis.
Yeah. Oh, that shot of Bill Murray, man, that is like burnt into my head.
So that scene's in the little documentary thing because he's wearing his contacts.
Yeah.
And like Bill Murray looks fucking miserable filming that thing. Like he doesn't say that, but like you're watching him and he's just like shouting Esteban, and then Wes Anderson's like, do it again. And Bill Murray's just he's like, the contacts are moving. He's like, please, no more. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good shot.
Pretty good. Is this the kind of the last feature role of Bill Murray in Wes Anderson movies, though. Like, he shows up in little bits and pieces after this, but this is kind of like the pinnacle, right, of his
as a feature.
As in his prevalence in the Anderson verse.
I think for sure. Like, we had Rushmore, and then I'd say Life Aquatic, and then any other time you see Bill Murray, he's just kind of a side character. But yeah, this is the big one for sure.
Right. I guess he is in Moonrise Kingdom a bit.
He's in Moonrise, and I mean he's in Tenenbaums, but like
he does some voice work in Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, yeah, he's around, but yeah, this is the Bill Murray show. This is
the showcase.
Yeah, 100%.
We get some of those, like, that beautiful wide angle lens distortion trying to capture the whole theater, which is something that, like, I wasn't aware of when I was, like, younger, and probably when I watched this I didn't really note it. But when I was watching Hong Kong movies the last 15 years, I was like, what the hell, this looks so weirdly cheap. But then I started realizing, like, oh, Yorgos Lanthimos does this all the time, and like hideous distortions though, where he like is perfectly okay with people being completely like disfigured in the corners of rooms as they move. It's a very weird thing to be with, because that used to be like the greatest fear. But then you watch Kubrick movies, and he was doing it back then too. So I don't know. The more you know as you watch this stuff. Then we learned, of course, about the scientific purpose of revenge, which is that Steve Zissou is going to just blow up this jaguar shark with dynamite. I don't know. He hasn't figured it out yet. So the reception to this half a documentary, this is like Harry Potter Death Hollows Part 1. It's a little cold. People are like, oh man, that was a disappointment. Everyone's leaving. It doesn't get any big awards. There's this woman standing in the hallway with this big plume, and they just like frame her, and you're like, who the hell's this? And then it like rotates away, and then she comes into frame as she's not the focus of it, and she's just like this, bravo, what fun, which is just like these like meaningless types of characters though, like just like, congratulations, seriously. I know I've met people like this in my life.
I know you have.
And so it's nice to see them get their moment in time in the sun to shine in cinema.
Well, these people, they need to be seen too.
No. They do. And then it launches into this like just ensemble cast setup of like introducing all the characters, their relationship to one another, which has already kind of been done in the documentary with like this is the script girl, and here is Klaus, and everybody, the engine, what is it, the mechanic / musician. You get all that, and then you get the other half of it, the what's his name, Octavio, the producer with his passport issues. You get introduced Angelica Houston. Everybody just shows up, and it's all you get the presentation of the documentary world, but then you get to see how the life of the crew is at one of these galas, at these awards, and the stress and the ins and outs. We get introduced to Owen Wilson's character. You get the inevitable weird. Everyone in the audience knows that this is like a father-son type of thing, and then they finally, well, you're supposed to be my son, right? He's like, I don't know. You're like, yes, it's well played, Wes, well played. And some people, that might be the kind of cuteness that some people hate with Wes Anderson.
Potentially, but those people can get out of here.
No one cares. No one cares about you.
Yeah, get out of here.
Stop listening.
You're not gonna have fun.
Don't listen to the Life Aquatic episode, because we're not going to change your mind. We're fans. We're just going to talk about how we like it a lot. So we're not going to be the first people who've done it. So I don't feel the need to defend it either. It's good stuff.
No, it speaks for itself.
We got Jeff Goldblum. He's a kind of a villain. He's a foil, I guess.
He's the antagonist.
He's a
What did Fede Alvarez call it? Not the anti-hero, the anti-villain. That's what he is. You remember that one, Jarrett? Or Don't Breathe. He's not an anti-hero. He's an anti-villain. Is that what Jeff Goldblum is in this one, do you think?
Sure.
Potentially.
That sounds asinine enough. Sure.
Sure. Why not?
because this guy's a real jerk, and we get some F-bombs. The bad one dropped here, where we get the very casual jerkiness of Steve Zissou, which I think people sleep on because Bill Murray's so charming. But it's like, no, Steve Zissou's a bad guy. He's not perfect anyway. He's an old crusty dickhead. And that's,
I mean, in the end, he comes to terms with that. He's like, when he reads the article, he's like, I didn't like that stuff, but I did it, so I guess I am an asshole.
But yeah, just the filmmaking of this is just so exciting and so well done. The camera trawling along, following the action along the boat, characters talking inside and out. It's so well done, and they make movies so easy. It makes me so angry about a bunch of these movies we've been watching lately for this goddamn podcast. And I'm like, why are these movies like so hard to watch? Why does anyone care about these? Can't we just watch Life Aquatic?
Yeah, well, Life Aquatic's better than many of those movies, like almost all of them.
Well, yeah, people can check out my recently revealed ranked list from 201 to 300, and you can see where Life Aquatic landed for you if you're curious. So another scene that I think is like so memorable. At least it's like, and then you watch it and you go, oh yeah, that's where this is from, where Bill Murray, or Steve Zissou, is watching the screen, watching his dead friend Esteban in a previous installment of their franchise of The Life Aquatic. He's like, why do you work with him? He's the Zissou. Just can't say it better than that. And then Zissou touches the screen and there's a little spark, which I do believe was like a real spark that happened.
Do you think it was his soul, Jarrett?
Maybe RJ. His sea soul.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to say, but I think it could be him.
It could be him. We get a little toss to nephew Werner, the nephew of Klaus, because of course he's wearing lederhosen.
Just a little bit.
As all German children, I'm sure, do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it that he did for a living as a bus driver?
Oh, fuck, I don't remember.
I think that's the line. It's like Klaus was a bus driver. He's like, no one's trained at all. No one's trained to be on the sea, which is
not at all.
Which is amazing. You learn it on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's like us here. We're not really podcasters. We're just learning as we go.
That's right. On the sea of pods.
Exactly. Because why not?
I have a note here about island cats.
Oh, yeah. He's got some good island cats.
Yeah, one of them's dead.
Couple tabbies, maybe?
There's even a dead cat.
What kind of cat was it, Jared?
I can't remember because they couldn't remember either. I think it was like whatever, Norwegian for short hair.
He says, "Who gives a shit?" A tabby, maybe.
Yeah. Because she just comes up to him to bum him out. And he's like, "Jesus Christ, Eleanor, why do you do this?
Why do you do this?"
No, we get of course tabby, this, and a lot of this. So this is like when they go to the island, but before that, post show, there's the big climax with the David Bowie playing over it, where he takes his big toke and he chills right out and goes into like cool Bill Murray mode. He's like, "Oh, hey man."
Yep.
Hey man.
Well, who doesn't have that when you're listening to some Murray, some David Bowie, Jared?
David Bowie.
David Bowie. It'll bring you right down where you need to be.
I had a note here. Hey, RJ, and I guess Jared Berger. Movies don't have to be giant pieces of shit after all.
No, they don't.
Yes,
what a rare treat, eh?
Yes, they can feel purposeful. Everything right in the right place, and even little details in the back,
and be enjoyable, and actually be like, oh, it's not like I feel like I'm just watching like a trivia movie where you're like, oh, hey, I appreciate what they were trying to do. That's really impressive. It's like, no, imagine like you did all those things, but actually we're also an enjoyably good movie to watch. It's so weird.
You're not trying to spot Easter eggs, and you're not being like, well, it's the context of the country during the era.
You had to, if you don't know that, you have no business being on a podcast.
If you don't understand feudal Japan, you're not going to understand Steve Zissou, all right?
No.
It's like, no, you can just make a good movie.
No.
That's timeless.
I'm sure there's like Kurosawa references in Life Aquatic, and if I don't see them, that's
Surely.
fine. I'm sure there is. There's a shot somewhere here or there.
Yeah.
I do enjoy when Sisu introduces Ned as probably my son Ned.
Probably my son Ned.
No.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And then you get kind of like another one of those like big iconic scenes, I think, from the movie, where it's kind of the Jean-Luc Godard cutaway of the boat. That's kind of like this like beautifully little constructed version of the boat that's like on a set. And it's so cool looking. It's kind of like the the one we watched recently, where you get that big cutaway of the factory workers, and you also get like the use of color, which they're not quite as primary as Godard. He still has like a movie realism to his colors, which are very warm, and then when you're outside, it's like this perfect kind of like pastel-y blue that match the uniforms, those very cozy looking cloth outfits of theirs.
And they look real comfortable.
Very comfy.
Real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My one line that I remember I really like from that scene is like when they go to like that one little piece at the bottom of the boat where you could like crawl in and lay down and just like watch the ocean pass you by. And it's like he thought of it in a dream. That's really nice.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. It's just like I thought about it in a dream and we put it on the boat. Then it comes back later when during the spoilers at the funeral. At the burial at sea.
Yep. What a sweet thing, though.
Yeah. Next note here: grade A score. Those David Bowie covers. So the is it Sue Roge, the singer of the
yeah, it's something like that.
George or Sue George, Sue Jorge.
Yeah, it's like Sue George.
Yeah, Sue George, the Brazilian musician. They're so
singing
good.
In Portuguese.
I mean, if someone hated David Bowie, you're not going to have a good time watching this movie. It's an affectation in the movie, and it works awesome. I couldn't imagine this movie without it. It would be a completely different picture because like it's literally in the movie for whatever reason. It's like, why David Bowie? I don't know. It's pretty good music, right? That's it.
Yeah, well, that's what I've always thought about it too, because like I love David Bowie, and then when it's just like, why are they doing David Bowie in Portuguese? I was like, why not?
And a lot of it's all from the album Changes as well, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes in there. There's a bit like there's one or two that are different too,
earlier, but it's that early phase because you get like Major Tom and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get Space Oddity, 5 Years is in there. I think Starman, Life on Mars is in there as well. So there's some Ziggy Stardust, I think, in there also. But yeah,
and let's not forget the Mark Mothersbaugh original stuff, that like pre 8-bit sound that everyone now everybody does it now. But when it first showed up in this movie, it was like, holy shit, this stuff is so good. Because it's Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo, and he's just hammering away at that keyboard, and just like these beats, they're like so good.
So I would be doing a failing if I didn't mention, and this Jared Berger, you're getting the live update on this. You know, people always ask like, how'd you guys start this podcast, and like how'd you guys become like work associates? I didn't use the word friends. See, it was very specific.
Co-creeps.
One time I was in the comic book store, and this was like 2-3 years before we started the podcast, and my cell phone rang, and Jarrett was like, "Is that the Life Aquatic song as your ringtone?" I was like, "Yeah, you know it is." So I've had like that song for my ringtone for almost 10 years or so, and when we were watching this with Andrea, she forgot that it was from this, and she's like, "Is your phone ringing?" I was like, it's the movie. And then she's like, "Oh, she's like, that is from this." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's from Life Aquatic." But that was one of the little things, I think, early days between me and old J Bones here, where it was just like, it was the recognition. It was like the little point to each other. It was like, we got it.
Well, like I do have this on CD, and I've given it a spin many times in the car.
Yeah, you got to give it a whirl. But yeah, that's just for you, Jared Berger, before anyone else knows. So you can go to our subreddit, which I'm sure has got
Leak.
400 billion subscribers and all that. Yeah, and you'd be like, I got the inside track.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What scoops?
Yeah.
What a scoop.
I mean, that's an excellent, like, ringtone, it's, I don't know. Yeah, all that like pre-8-bit stuff is just like, I don't know, it's so perfect for the, like, not even like the film, but like even just like location, like on the coast of Italy, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is. I think it will be timeless.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
It's good.
Hell yeah.
It's good shit. It's good shit.
Mm-hmm.
My next note here was full body portraits, because I believe it's after Ned has joined the team. He's being kind of shown or he's not joined the team yet, but he's kind of like being accepted into the family, into the life Aquatic. And you got to see the Steve Zissou full body portrait in his like pose. That's like, I don't know. It's an amazing painting. Then there's the one of Jeff Goldblum. And he's like, yeah, he's an asshole. Sorry. This guy is a big time asshole.
This guy's a big time asshole. Yeah, I think my screenshot count on this one, Jarrett, when I always add it to my folder, I think it was like 110 or something.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, we got some good stuff coming.
Yeah. And then you have like, I think it's a scene where when Zissou takes out his earring and he throws it away, but then like Ned gets up and then like Zissou puts his hand out. And it's I don't know. It's such like a weird thing that's like really like funny and good, because it's just like because there's no way that like Ned would know that this is like a thing, but it is part. It's a part of the. It's like a cliche, and he's already like he's like, yeah, thank you, and like he's done it before, and people just do it. Like, you're gonna regret this, man. You don't want to do this. And he's like, you're right. I will regret this, and he's already like, yes. Let's do this now. I got my moment out of the way, but it's time to move on.
I love the setup for that too, where it's just like they say when people make fun, they're just jealous, but it still hurts. And he's like crouched over with his arms over his knees, all sad. It's great. I love it. Super good.
Yes.
Super good. My next note was, this movie is really fucking sad, but it is like
it is.
Kind of belayed by Anderson quirk and the humor of it, but like the entire like core of this movie, it's just like, oh, it's so depressing. Like Ned and his mother who kills herself, and you're like, you abandoned. You kind of figured I existed, but you didn't do anything about it, and you're like, still lying about it this entire time, and just like all the characters. I don't know. It's a strange movie for that, because like I think it's easy to miss it. At least the first time you watch it, but then as you watch it more, it's kind of like, man, there's some dark themes RJ at work.
Oh yeah,
maybe even a metaphor or two,
or three. Is that
maybe?
There's the line, Klaus used to be a bus driver. And then I think it's like, oh god, what scene is that at? I'm jumping the gun here. I'm blanking on the actress's name in this.
Kate Blanchett.
When she shows up, and the line's like, "What are you doing out here at night? You look pregnant."
You look pregnant. Fuck that. That's really good. That's on the when he takes Ned back to the island at first, and they see all the jellyfish, and you have the amazing delivery from Owen Wilson. I've never seen so many electric jellyfish in my life. And you're just like what?
What makes them glow?
What makes them glow, Steve? And you're just like, man, Owen,
that
good for you, buddy.
What happened?
Oh yeah.
What happened to Owen?
Yeah, his depressions, and it's very sad.
Yeah,
very grim.
Yeah, he's not doing great, man.
Yeah, because he still has never really. I mean, maybe it was Vince Vaughn. Maybe it was that Google
Maybe
movie.
it was Vince Vaughn.
Maybe it was that Vince Vaughn.
Wow.
Those Vince Vaughn movies did it.
I gotta distance myself from that statement. I don't want to get sued by the Vince Vaughn Corporation.
Oh no.
Holy cow. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, there was that scare 2 years ago when Owen Wilson almost died, and I was like, oh no. I was like, that's sad.
What was the name of that shitty Google movie? The Internship?
Oh, fuck, that's a 1, maybe even a half-star film. I hated that thing so much.
Maybe it was Google.
Maybe it was Google who went after them. And I don't even mind some of the Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn stuff, but it was a time, right? That's like late 2000s. But now you see people still quoting Wedding Crashers, and you're like, get out. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's a movie I've still never seen.
I mean, at the time it was fine, but I'm pretty sure if I tried to rewatch that thing, it would be fucking horrendous. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I remember it also being like over 2 hours long. It was like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. And I was like, this is way too long. This is way too long. Have you seen Wedding Crashers, Jared Berger?
No, I have not.
I'm the only guy who's seen this thing.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I'm looking to get more into Wes Anderson stuff, but I know that there's like a point where it's like I don't need to see any. I don't know. I feel like he's a very good actor, but maybe his agent. I don't know. Something. I don't know. Some of these movies, they don't strike me as the bee's knees,
I gotcha. Well, maybe next time if you come back on again, if you enjoyed yourself, come back on. You can watch. You and Jarrett can watch Wedding Crashers before. Maybe we'll do that. That'll be the Criterion.
Yeah,
well, it'll be added to Criterion eventually. I'm sure.
Eventually,
so.
Yeah,
eventually.
100%.
Of course.
Yeah.
We get another one of those
probably a special feature somewhere. It's on The Graduate. Yeah.
Oh yes. 100%.
We then get an all-time banger of a line with "Not this one, Klaus."
This one, Klaus.
Not this one, Klaus. And it's like then you have Willem Dafoe just doing this this checkout. He's just standing there because at this point you have no real he's just this kind of goofy little character, but now he's just this suggestion is not this one, Klaus. Is like, oh dear. This is his style.
This is his thing.
This is his thing. He sees opportunities and he seizes upon them, like a predator. So that's good. That's a little spice to the movie. And at this point, my notes drop off for this movie because I just enjoy watching.
Watch and enjoy.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
My next note really isn't until the awesome line reading of when they're shooting the documentary with Ned and they're looking for the jaguar shark and they come upon the sunken airplane and it's like, look, Ned, there's a sunken airplane. Let's go check it out.
Let's go check it out.
Let's go check it out.
All right, Steve. What does he call him to? He's like, all right, Steve-O. Or
Steve Z. Steve Z.
Steve Z.
All right, Steve Z.
Steve Z. Yeah.
It's good stuff too. I like it.
Yeah. So of course, once they're all assembled, they have to get the team together, but they got no money. They're indebted to his wife, estranged wife, who the money comes out of the Goldblum's stuff, the Hennessy, or is that right?
Yeah, the Hennessy.
The Hennessy Foundation money. So he's the foundation.
Yeah.
So he's kind of broke as shit. There is a safe full of money that Ned brings to the table, which is also what kind of gets him into a good favor with Steve, because he is also kind of a bad dude who's just oh, you willing to give me money? Okay. All right.
Said, not too bad.
But they are able to, with a bond company involved, they are able to get the financial resources to get together to make another installment, another documentary, even though they haven't had a hit documentary in decades.
For decades.
If you could imagine a universe where these would be successful documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine a world where they
film
wouldn't.
festivals that are exquisite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so here we're oh man, did you see the new Sisu? Oh man, I can't believe it.
I'd watch every one.
Everyone.
I'm watching one right now.
So yeah, did you guys recognize the Bond company stooge? Is Bud Cort from Harold and Maude?
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Of course.
I'm well familiar with Mr. Bud Cort. Do you know Bud Cort, Jared Berger? Have you seen Harold and Maude?
I did see Harold and Maude, so
He's Harold.
I'm navigating. Dang.
He has aged.
Yeah, he is.
I should mention
His face. It's weird. Normally, people when I don't know the facial structure. Well, from my memory, is just completely different, you know. But I guess, yeah, he was a lot younger in Harold and Maude, you know. So
sure was.
I guess
it's called the Ravages of Time.
You should see Maude now. Whew.
Whew, boy. Whew. He was the voice of Toyman, Superman the Animated Series.
Who was?
Bud Cort.
Oh, that's cool.
That's why, that's probably why I recognize it. And yeah, Justice League too. And of course he showed up in Arrested Development. Remember? You remember this? This?
I remember Bud Cort there too.
No.
Yeah, Bud Cort's the man. I like Bud Cort.
So they set to the seas. Hijinks are had. Pirates eventually show up while because at this point Sisu's courting Kate Blanchett.
Yes.
And I think when he makes his pass, it is so good because it's just it comes out of nowhere, and his ability to not read signals and thinking this is going to happen, and she's like, no, and he's like, okay, all right, and he's like, it's no biggie. You're like, why? I don't know. It's so good because it's so low key.
Yeah, that's the same with me and my wife. Same interaction almost daily.
Wow.
Yeah. It happens.
I do love the Filipino Pirates. I love how.
Oh yeah, those guys are awesome.
So they're set up as this kind of almost weird cliche. It's a little racist, and you're kind of what is up?
Yeah.
What's this all about? But I don't know. There's the thing that redeems it all really quick is when they take the safe, and when they say there isn't a safe, and then it cuts to a documentary of them showing this off the safe, and then you cut to it's a kitchen. It's the kitchen staff filled with Filipino guys. And they're watching it, and you're like, oh fuck, these guys they abandoned their life as cooks to become pirates, and then they went to rob them. It's that's amazing. That's so. I don't know. It's better than just there's roving band of pirates. It's well, I guess they are just roving around, and they saw this opportunity, or they're part-time pirates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just part-time pirates.
Part-time pirates.
They team up to cook as well.
Yeah,
and they can cook too with their three-legged dog, Cody.
Man, I love they left their dog, fucking amateurs. And then I get so sad at the end. It's we forgot Cody. We got to go back.
Oh, but he's the exact same reading.
Yeah.
He has the exact same reading of let's go check it out. He's like,
let's go check it out.
Look, we got for Cody. We got to go back. And then they look around and just the head of no. No, it's and then just goodbye, Cody.
Goodbye, Cody.
Yeah, goodbye, Cody.
I hate to see it, man. I hate to see it, but it's all right. It's good stuff.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, the pirates show up, and it's pretty intense. For that's the thing with Wes Anderson because of this quirkiness of his movies and but there's this real sadness in his movies. It's you have this really intense hostage pirate situation, and it's handheld, and you're oh, I mean, I guess something bad could really happen. Someone does get accidentally axe chopped, one of the interns, or hatchet chopped.
Yeah. And
then later, when there's the rescue and Jeff Goldblum sitting there playing poker, and when he got shot, I remember in the theater, it was oh, it was holy fuck, they just killed Jeff Goldblum, but they didn't. He was okay. He was walking around pretty good for being shot right through.
I love when he comes back. He's in that Dr. Pepper shirt, or what does it say? It doesn't say Dr. Pepper. It's Pepper Daddy or something.
I think it is Doctor. I think it is a Doctor, an old style Dr. Pepper shirt.
Dr. Pepper, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. You're here to rescue me? Sure. Good stuff.
Oh, great! Bang, 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 and then you get a Wes Anderson shootout. Which, I mean, we've seen, like, him do action back in Bottle Rocket. We've seen chases and Royal Tenenbaums. This one steps it up. Like, the raid on the island. Again, that camera moving around with the band of them with the music playing over it. It's so good.
Very, very good, Jared. Very attractive.
Very attractive.
Very attractive.
At some point here, we found out that Sisu shoots blanks, which suggests that he is sterile from all his time under the ocean.
Yeah, I think it was all the time he was underwater. Well, that deep pressure, man, we don't know what's going to happen to you. It's going to crinkle up your body, especially the sensitive parts.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? See what I mean, boys?
So there's a rescue is made. The Bong Company stooge is saved. Hennessy is inadvertently saved because he happened to be there. You get like the horrific thing that matter of like all his like sea boys were all murdered and buried.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's like, what? It's like all those guys are dead. And it's like, that's fine. I don't feel bad for any of them. It's like they're just dead. You're like, good God. This movie's like that's the way he handles it in this like way. And it's there in Grand Budapest Hotel, which also has this like real darkness to it that you have to like watch for. And when you stop and think about it, it's like, it's way more disturbing when it's handled this way rather than like overtly. Where like if you were thinking about Robert Zombie's presentation of the same type of thing.
How would Robert Zombie film Life Aquatic?
Fuck-a-doodle-doo, man.
I'm Steve fucking Zissou.
Well, hey, Sid Haig, Steve Zissou would be aight.
I mean, yeah, Sid Haig, Steve Zissou would be cool, but
I like that. Would that movie be in my Criterion collection slot? No, probably not. But
potentially,
it's a thought experiment.
Yeah,
it'd be fine.
Jared Berger,
every director should have a Steve Zissou. Just everyone remakes the same movie for a year. I just want to see, how that turns out.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I do get excited about a Tarantino with starring Kurt Russell as Steve Zissou.
Ooh, that would be pretty good.
Think about all the feet you'll see.
Oh man.
Everyone's walking on the
deck
barefoot. Yeah, I can't wait for Paul Thomas Anderson's Adam Sandler Zissou, and then the Safdie brothers Adam Sandler Zissou film.
What about Agnes Varda? What about Agnes Varda?
Different
Steve
affairs.
Zissou? Am I right?
Agnes Varda Steve Zissou film?
Anus?
No, I did not say anus. However,
play the tape back.
Anus Varda is potentially one of the best jokes that has not been had yet, and I think it's just right there for anyone. You take it. You make a Letterboxd review of Anus Varda, it's going to have 3,000 likes. You're going to be there. It's right there.
It's going to be my new review for.
It should. Although you got to watch out. Agnes Varda does have a lot of stands, and they will get you, man. Trust us. They'll get you.
They'll fucking crack your head open, leave you for dead out in the desert.
Well, fuck, I said I didn't like Vagabond once, and they're like, "Fuck these people, boo these men," and I was like, Jesus, leave me alone. Anyways,
so then we get like everything seems rosy. They got their empty safe back, but it's all about the friends you make on the journey. And then they're like, "Hey, we got a lead on that shark that this whole movie's about until the pirates showed up. So let's go take care of that, and let's take the helicopter that's been foreshadowed is not working very well. And Ned's a pilot; it's gonna be great." Then the helicopter breaks down, and then there's like a crash, and Ned dies.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the fuck?
He said someone's dying in this Wes Anderson film, and you go, yeah,
and he's just dead, and it's kind of vague, like how, what caused it? Some internal injuries, perhaps.
Yeah, internal injuries, and he can't swim either. Yeah. So,
but I think that was a good montage whenever they like go through and they're training, I think, and then like it's like it abruptly stops, and then he has the CPR. So that's a good I guess he's not good at swimming, and then I guess he bleed out pretty fast with that salt water.
There is, I mean, maybe that was that ghost that website was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I should Google this while we're here because we'll never talk about.
People missed it.
Okay, can you tell them, Jarrett, while I'm Googling this?
But on what's the website again? Does the dog die?
The dog die?
Yeah, on there it does mention. Someone said yes. There's a ghost in Life Aquatic, but most people miss it. And I've been waiting for the opportunity. Like, when would that be? And maybe that was it. Maybe that conversation never really happened. It was between Sisu and Ned's ghost because he already had drowned.
Maybe it's the spark that they touch the tree. I think maybe that's the closest it will be.
Yeah.
Come on. That's a fucking ghost.
Maybe there's now two ghosts.
Yeah, I actually
Bill Murray is a Ghostbuster after all.
That's very true. He doesn't want to be, but he is.
Reluctant.
Yeah, okay, so I can't find it, but on the website, does the dog die? There's all sorts of questions there, and one of them was, is there a ghost? And someone said yes, but most people miss it. So my guess, I think it might be the spark, or maybe it's that conversation. Or maybe they were dead the whole time, Jarrett.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe the ship, maybe
this is all in the afterlife.
Are you suggesting that the life in Life Aquatic is ironic?
Yeah. I think Damon Lindelof had a hand in this script.
Oh, damn. Can you imagine? That? J.J. Abrams getting up in your shit?
Oh, fuck. We can't get on J.J. Abrams' shit list. That dude's got no friends anymore, so he's looking for people to hurt.
Yeah, he's still got stroke.
J.J. Abrams had a stroke?
He has stroke.
Oh.
The figurative stroke. He did, as far as I'm aware, he is not stroked out.
I was like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Nah, he don't worry. He'll be producing your Batman HBO thing soon enough. So anyway, so Sisu, the family, the Belafonte family, they have a funeral for the now dead Ned, and they send him off with that really, really sad song by the Zombies.
Is it the Cranberries song Zombie?
No.
Oh, okay. So are the only instances of different music are the 8-bit song, the Zombie song, and then the Sigur Rós song at the end, and then everything else is David Bowie? I think, right? For the most part. I wasn't keeping track.
Yeah. I mean, there's no Charlie Brown music in this movie.
Is there any Seinfeld jazz?
No, that was just maybe a saving grace.
Well, for you maybe would have improved the film for me.
There's Open Sea theme by Sven Liebig. There is. There's the Here's to You song by Joan Baez of Ennio Morricone. It's like whatever it is, like the Here's to You.
Yeah. Okay, so there is other music,
and Search and Destroy by the Stooges, which is like pseudo. 30th Century Man by Scott Walker, RJ.
So all sorts of songs. Okay.
It's a very well considered soundtrack, all told, though.
I guess it's just the Bowie stuff resonates with
really,
me most, so
as it should, because like there's literally a man performing it in like Portuguese, I guess. So yeah, it would bring attention to it. And then there's the actual Bowie appearances, which are even more powerful when they do show up.
Mm-hmm.
As they soon do. We're getting close anyway. The Sisu family head down into the submersible to go find this jaguar, and they go down, and that's when you get your Sigur Rós.
Yes.
And
yes, sir.
And you get some You get some sadness, some tears. You get you get a documentary. You get the warm reception that it receives now as it concludes the story of the adventure. Steve Sisu goes outside smoking, and he's won his award, but it feels empty because it's like my not son's dead. And he doesn't know that. And then, but the adventure begins anew as young Werner comes with him, And you get a big, long walking montage. And a series of montages, you get to introduce to all the characters all over again, lovingly, as they board the ship and going onto whatever they go onto. So, yeah, this movie is A+. Or this would be S grade, S rank, top of the top, tippy top. Good movie.
Tippy top.
Yeah, I don't know. How about you two? What do you got to say about this? We've been talking for like an hour at this point.
Yeah. Let's let Jared Berger take it away. Why don't you lay it all out, man? Why? And we should also mention, why are you here at the moment? Yeah, I guess you can talk about it. Why'd you pick Life Aquatic? Or, whatever.
Well, I thought, I don't know. It's, I'll tell you a story why I picked this one. Well, so I did the Slacker one, right? And then a month after Slacker, right, I forgot to undo the $50 Patreon thing. So then it was the automatic month thing. And I was like, I don't want to figure out all that like junk. They probably have to pay like a percentage off of whatever I donate. So
maybe
it would just, someone would lose, $5 or something like that. So I was like, I enjoyed being on the show. I'll do it again. And I looked at the catalog and I was like, ooh, that Jules and Jim is looking at me pretty good. But from what my calculations, where it looked like I did a big film project recently at the beginning of the summer, and so I was like, that's cutting it really close, and this Life Aquatic would we'd do that afterwards, right? And so it's like, I'll do that. I'll have some film experience to talk about, and I can like go over and I love that movie just as much, and I was like, yes, that one, boom.
Nice.
Sold.
Nice.
And I mean, it's one of the first Criterions I've had, and it's really stuck with me, and it's really interesting because I haven't like, the movie works on me in a weird way where like everything is very familiar, but I don't really remember like the plot other than like the shark aspect of it, right? Like I remember the first 3 times I saw the movie, I was surprised when like Ned died, like I totally forgot about like that aspect of it, and it's really weird because it is played, it's not necessarily played up, but it's very important to the story, but it's shocking almost, but I bet if someone like came up to me like right before I watched it, and was like, hey, does this like Ned character die? I probably would have been like, oh yeah, I think so, right? But it just hits you out of like nowhere, right? But it does allude to the helicopter and all that stuff, but it's just, I feel like it's constructed in a way to make it like so I don't know. I think this is a perfect nugget of like cinema, and it's a pretty good. It's a good show, and just going back to like the simple like things, right? Like the production design and all that, like the boat like aspect of it. I guess this is like a writing thing too, right? Because like the design of this boat is like insane. Like, I don't know how many boats have a sauna that are like this size, and
just
it's
ours.
just like shit like that. That's
Well,
very,
now that you point that out,
like,
maybe this movie is actually really bad. I'm gonna take back my positive review of this. Is like a C.
Fair.
It's just, the sauna's too large. 2 bones.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then the sauna is right next to like the chemical, like science shit, and it's like, I wonder if they use like the same plumbing and all that stuff, and like it's just all these things where it's like there are all these like, I don't know, like little details that like are so fun and make the rewatch enjoyable, and it's not something where it's like I feel like sometimes, people or like filmmakers can try too hard and like engineer too many things into the movie to be like, oh yes, it all goes to like this plot twist or whatever, But here it all goes in service of like, yes, this is the story we're telling, and yes, this is the world, and the world is populated, and it doesn't necessarily go towards everything, and so I guess this movie is just so full, I think that's why I like it. It's a hearty film, I don't know if any of that will make sense, but I think I'm getting I don't know. And and I didn't know that this was a co-joint with good old Noah Baumbach,
Yes.
So I started doing my little research, right? And I had started, as I mentioned previously, I started the commentary track of this movie just minutes before we got on tonight. And I was like, they probably have an introduction that's like helpful, right? And so I got through to the pretty much until like they get to the boat tour, so like pretty much the first 10-15 minutes, right? They talk about these interesting points of influence, and there's like the aspect of like the filmmaker, the like sad filmmaker, and they were talking about like 8.5 being like their thing that they like took the sauna stuff from. And like Guido has this like sadness to him that like Steve Zissou's shares,
and he's horny.
All the good ones are.
Yeah, and that's
can you repeat that, RJ?
At this point.
Nothing. I said nothing.
Okay, nope. Interesting.
Continue,
Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's another aspect. I feel like this is. I'm trying to compare like Wes Anderson's other movies, and I feel like maybe Royal Tenenbaums, like these are like two very sad, movies, and they have these very, as Jarrett previously discussed, like they're very sad characters, and it's portrayed in a way that's like not like, or I guess the sadness is not dramatic, it's just played as life is, and like they just have to like keep carrying on, and this like character of like Steve, who is like nearing the end of his career, right? It's just like it's like I watched this with my girlfriend, right? And she was like, this is like a really like sad movie, and like we were just talking about like how fucking like like everything like in the movie on paper like goes against Steve, yet like he just like keeps going on. I feel like in a different movie like he would have had like a more like a breakdown or something like that, but I guess that's the world of the movie right there,
potentially.
I don't know. So and so that's all I have to really say about it. I mean, it's I mean that's Steve, right? And we got Klaus and Jeff Goldblum, right? Like I think like excellent portrayals, right? I think they were talking about the movie where they just like they had like the rough idea of like what would happen, and then they didn't cast people, but they thought about like actors and then wrote parts for that, which of course makes sense because they are really well tailored to each person, right? And I think my favorite part of the movie is when Klaus is on whenever they're all doing like the the operation where they like rescue this Harold. It rescues Harold and Jeff, right? And like they have like the exchange where it's like, I don't remember exactly, but it's
well,
like,
I
don't know.
He's set in A squad and B squad.
Oh yeah, B squad, right? And he's like, you fucker, like I wanted A squad, and it's like you're B squad leader, you know. And it's just so silly, you know, and it's so out of place, but it plays so well, you know.
It's like we always thought of you our little brother, and it's like I always thought of you two as my dads.
So please don't let anyone make fun of me for that. And he's like, I can't promise you that, boss. But it's thanks a lot for picking me.
What did you?
Yeah, exactly.
What did you slap me for? Now I owe you. No, that's not right. I
We
owed
are
you
even. You're not listening. I really liked. I more than liked it. Fuck, Willem Dafoe is so good in this.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best performers in the Criterion Collection between
agree.
Fishing with John, Last Temptation of Christ, and Life Aquatic. It's I might even be forgetting one at the moment, but yeah, that's three great performances.
Yeah, he's the man. He's the man.
Man of his time.
Yeah.
RJ.
And one of the things, yes. Oh, really quickly, another standout moment, right? Like, I really like the part gay line delivery that Jeff Goldblum has, and it's.
Although I am part gay,
it's so brilliant, and like it's, I don't know, it's just, it has this touch, you know. Yeah. Anyways.
It fits in with today's world, right? You just do whatever you feel right. If you're only part something, go for it. Do whatever feels right, Jarrett?
Yeah. I was going to add for the Willem Dafoe count. So the future Willem Dafoes include the Grand Budapest Hotel, and Antichrist, and Heaven's Gate. I don't remember him in that movie, but he's in there. That's got some horses in it, RJ. And
I'm aware.
I think that's it that I've seen.
I'm well aware.
No.
But yeah. So then. Movies, eh?
Oh, what about Aquaman, though? Am I right?
It's coming. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, do you want to hear what I have to say about this movie?
I suppose.
Reluctantly.
We waited a whole 5 days just so we could hear you.
All right, Jared. And Jared Berger. So I think I don't have a ton more to say other than what I've already mentioned a bunch. I love Life Aquatic, and I remember like years ago there were some people where I was like, you like Life Aquatic a lot? And I was like, yeah, and they're like, isn't that like Wes Anderson's weakest? And it's like, hey, even if you think that, Wes Anderson's weakest is still better than a lot of people's best.
People only say that because they forget Darjeeling exists. Or
Darjeeling, and I'm not super hot on Moonrise Kingdom. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like I think even the weaker Wes Anderson movies are still better than a lot of people's best things. So I don't mind Darjeeling. I think Darjeeling's all right. But Moonrise Kingdom, I was like, meh. And even I think I've mentioned before, Grand Budapest for me, I was kind of like, I was like, I don't know. But I've only seen it once, so I do need to rewatch it.
That movie's pretty good on the rewatch. It's like Interstellar good on the rewatch.
See, and like I will rewatch it before we actually do it. Because I've heard other people say that too, and just at the time when I watched Grand Budapest, I was kind of like, I was like, it's still good, I like it a lot, but so anyways, I always would tell people, I was like, I love Life Aquatic, and they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, and they're like, why do you love it? And for all those reasons I mentioned before, like I love the David Bowie stuff. I really like the reveal with the Sigur Rós song. Like I think it's so well like paired together. It's just like, because that song is like so big, and like that's like their music in general. But I love that. Bill Murray and Owen Wilson, the best. Willem Dafoe is so good in this, like all of his lines, and there's a lot of like subtle humor in this that I love so much. Like one of my absolute favorite bits in this whole movie is when they're running to the abandoned hotel and they run through that really little puddle, and then Bill Murray's like, he's like, swamp leeches, we got to get them off. And then everyone looks and he's like, I'm the only one who got hit. And he's like, what's the deal? It's like such a small thing, but it's one of my favorite parts in the movie because I'm just like, it's so silly. Mm-hmm. He's just like, I'm the only one, and it's like, and it just kind of like moves along. I love that this movie is for the dudes, because there's always like big shots of just like a bunch of dudes just hanging out together, just staring at the camera. And I was like, yeah, dudes rock, Jarrett. They just love hanging out. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know what it is specifically, like other than the things I said, like all those little bits I like a lot. I do really like the Jacques Cousteau stuff. Like I think like ocean exploration is something that really needs to get more appreciation and more support. Like I know James Cameron has like been trying to get this going forever, and it's just like, yeah, get down there, because like that's the thing everyone says, it's like we don't know what the fuck is down there. There's all those giant squids, and I think the like deep ocean is super super scary. Like that's something that like if I could never do it. Like it scares the living shit out of me, but I'm interested in it. Like I love like planet Earth stuff and oceans, and I love seeing that stuff. But I like deep ocean stuff, I do think is like terrifying. So I do really like the exploration stuff like that. That's what we don't need. Blue Origin dick spaceships. Go into the ocean, see what's going on down at the bottom there. You know, I think that's more important. But that's not news either. That's a well treaded ground.
More sea, less space dick.
Yes, less space dick. But yeah, there's a ton of bits that I just like, all those little small things I love in this. I think I've mentioned before, I'm a Cate Blanchett guy. So when we were watching this, Andrew's like, "Hey, look, it's your girlfriend," and I was like, "Shut up!
Shut up! She'll listen. She'll hear. She'll hear."
And like she's not a huge part of this movie or anything, but I just think Cate Blanchett's a great actress, and I mean that's not news to anyone.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, I guess like the one thing and is I don't know if the female characters get just kind of like a short shift here, because like the one thing, and this it definitely comes up for me in Darjeeling Limited, is the Angelica Houston character becomes very samey between these three movies, and I think she has the most agency in Royal Tenenbaums, and then she's kind of like here almost reprising the same character, and I don't know if it's just because like Angelica Houston is just like such a personality character at this point, like as a performer. Like it's kind of like, you know, when Gene Hackman shows up in something like that, he kind of just like is Gene Hackman, though I think he is really really good as Royal Tenenbaum. But Angelica Houston I think she's really good, and she actually has an arc in Royal Tenenbaums. In this, she kind of has an arc, but she's just kind of there to help out her asshole husband and bail him out of trouble again. But so sorry, I was just thinking about that because Cate Blanchett's character she's kind of like the love interest for Ned, and she's supposed to be this journalist covering the story, and she used to be a big fan. And then she gets to see the real truth of like how much of a piece of crap he is, I guess. Which, I mean, they didn't really go anywhere with that, and because there's the things like, oh, are you gonna cover that in the story when you do this?
Well, so I think that they do a little bit, like, so there. I do think that there is some self-awareness with him near the end, like when he does fall and they record it, and he's like, show everyone the truth this time. Like, I'm just like a failing old man whose wife doesn't love him, kind of thing. And then at the end, when he reads the article, she's like, you didn't like it, and he's like, well, it's true. He's like, I come off like an asshole. He's like, but I did do that stuff, so I guess I am an asshole. And I like that quite a bit. But while you're on like the Angelica Houston stuff, like she's not like a big presence in this, but I do think it's Wes Anderson does try to show the appreciation where he's just like, yeah, she is the whole thing. Like that's their point, where it's like, even if she's not there, she's the only reason that the Team Zissou gets to be alive. But I love Angelica Houston, man. She is so good. Like in Addams Family.
Mhm.
And
Oh yeah, that's a different story altogether.
oh, so good. And actually, in like 50-50, I think she is incredible in that movie. I really like her in that. But anyways, the hell is I talking about? Yeah, Life Aquatic's great, man. Like, I love the sense of adventure with this movie. Like, and like the little ship, the way that they kind of go between decks. Vintage Wes Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Just classic. I love how fake the fish are. Which is something that I love. I do.
You know, that's always been something that I wasn't a fan of.
Didn't like?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, that's always, I still don't like it. It's kind of like it just looks so off. Like, it doesn't look as charming as it should.
I think it's surrealism, Jarrett. You ever heard of surreal?
I have, but I always find it kind of breaks my suspension, and I'm like, why is this here? I've just never. Yeah. That's one of my least favorite parts of this. Otherwise, excellent movie. It's always been those little like weird, cartoony, like they're like stop motion as well, fish. But they're not even because apparently they're stop motion, but they look CGI. I don't get it. It's like why is that a look you want?
Yep, and that's fair. Yeah, you can. That's fair for you to do that. I love it. I think it's super fun. But yeah, I don't know. I really like Life Aquatic. Like, I think I've always held it. And I think when we did Royal Tenenbaums, I think I even said then too. Like, I do think Tenenbaums is the better film, but Life Aquatic's my favorite. I love it a lot. It's just wicked. It's good stuff. Good stuff. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, you guys want to hear from people who hate this movie?
I mean, always no, but like, well, yeah, okay.
All right. Well, this one got buried. It looks like 'cause it's not popping up on the main page, but from John Criterion.
Oh shit, he's back.
No, that was Gary Collection. Now it's John Criterion.
We have John Criterion now as well. Holy shit.
So I just sent that link to you there, RJ. This is I think a listener of our podcast.
I think it's the real guy.
Do you think it's really John? So
yeah.
So John Criterion only wrote half star, not as good as Jellyfish Eyes. It's only in the collection for that fucking Gary.
Jellyfish Eyes, hey, is that a good show?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, I gotta take his word for it, I guess. He is John Criterion, so does Gary Collection have a review of this film as well, or?
No, I didn't see one.
Okay.
No.
Okay, beautiful.
I don't know if they're definitely a Jellyfish Eyes fan.
It seems like it. I'm
assuming John Criterion's name will revert to their previous name one day,
potentially.
But I do like that. I like that. Or the universe is populating. It's growing a life of its on its own. But on to the haters. We got Glenn Walter, half a star. This has some of the worst dialogue and acting ever put on film. It's not creative, it's not quirky, it's trash, and Wes Anderson needs to stop being praised for his lazy writing and directing. Those are all definitely statements of opinion, I guess.
You can't trust this person at all. They gave that Tomorrow War movie 5 stars, which is like, I haven't seen that. I'm never going to watch that, but everyone... I more than anything else, I saw people giving it like 1 star. They're like, this sucks. It's just a bad movie. And I don't know. This person, it's not a good one. They gave Ready Player One also 5 stars.
I see. I get it. If that's your style, this movie won't be your style.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some movies in here that give 5 stars that are good, but not that one. Other half-star films include Existence and the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So take that however you want.
All right. Next, we have Brendan Francis with half a star. I only walked out of 2 films in my life, and this was almost the third. This film is the equivalent of suffering through a children's play. Why can't Owen Wilson, noted Texan, do a southern accent? Why am I being subjected to French Bowie covers and claymation? Why is this movie almost 2 hours? What was the point of any of this? Why does Murray shamble through this like he got shot with a tranquilizer dart and started his shorts?
The Bowie songs are in Portuguese.
Uh-huh.
You stupid, clumsy bitch. Just ignorant, Jared. Ignorant.
Wow. Heat. The heat I feel emanating from you.
They gave Quiet On 5 stars. Jared.
There you go.
And they gave a couple of those Beatles movies 5 stars. What else we got in there? Some other half-star films include Striptease, Jarrett. Striptease. You love that movie, don't you?
Striptease?
Yeah. I thought you loved Striptease.
Are you think I've never actually seen Striptease. Are you thinking of Showgirls?
Maybe. Maybe. They also gave the Vavitch a half a star. So that seems strange. Damn. I don't know. There's Wayne's World half a star. Get out of here. Get out of here.
One more from Andro Frido at half a star. Did not age well. Full of homophobic slurs and racist jokes.
I mean, a bit. A bit, yeah. They only have 3 5-star films. Fantastic Planet, Hunt for the Wilder People, and Spirited Away. And they only have 1 half-star film, and it's Life Aquatic.
No.
So, I don't. This person only has 80 films logged. So I don't think they're a real account. In whatever way you want to take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
They really Gary'd it.
They did Gary it. Who the fuck's that guy this week? Gary? Bud?
If that's even his real name.
Why would he lie? Why would he lie?
Well, any final thoughts here on The Life Aquatic?
I think it's a good show. What about you, Jared Berger?
I would agree with that. It is a great show. All these guys are I think they're just misled, you know.
In all walks. Yeah.
It happens.
And I will third this sentiment.
Pretty good show.
The motion passes. The Yays have it. Life Aquatic is great. Stop the presses.
Mm-hmm. Get out there.
After the break, I don't know, RJ. I'm sorry, but you're going to die in a helicopter crash. But we'll be sad.
Finally,
we'll be sad about it. Don't you worry.
Finally,
might even make a documentary about it.
No, don't bother. It'll be on
Netflix and be 2 hours each in 3 parts.
I'd rather an HBO series if you can, because it's not TV. It's HBO. Remember when they used to say that all the time? Remember?
Yeah, because I'm a grandpa.
Yeah, you are.
I remember.
Yeah, Jared Berger's just a kid, and he knows.
Everyone remembers, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll never forget you, RJ.
No, you can't.